I love this country. I just think America's the greatest country in all of it. I do. And the whole world knows it. Everybody wants to come here. When's the last time you heard of somebody trying to sneak into China?
Hi guys, welcome to Go See Gail. Okay, so yes, we're doing politics now. I'm switching gears, and today we're going to showcase some of Senator John Kennedy from Louisiana. We're going to showcase some of his funniest, newest takes. He has been expressing his disdain for all of the corruption and fraud that's going on in I want to call it Somalia, but it's Minnesota. He is so entertaining. I just love watching this guy. He gives us tons of facts about what's going on, and he's also entertaining. That's why I love him, because I like to combine comedy and politics at the same time. So let's look at some of Senator Kennedy's good stuff.
By now, unless you are still living in your parents' basement playing video games, you know that there has been massive welfare fraud in Minnesota. It's staggering. It's stunning. It's astounding.
This part, it's not that it's funny, but it's just, it really is something that you have to like sit back and go, wow, like what? It's just, it's so bad. And I'm glad that he's fighting to handle this.
Now, it's an uncomfortable truth that at this juncture, most of that fraud appears to be centered in the community of Minneapolis among people of Somali ancestry. Some have said and suggested that it's racist to say that. Facts are not racist. What I just said is just a fact. So far, there have been 90 people charged, most of whom are of Somali descent. That's just a fact.
So when Senator Kennedy starts to really rip into Tim Walz, it gets really good. So let's check this out.
Well, let me tell you what was happening in
Minnesota.
One of the things Medicaid does, along with the food stamp program, is to feed people, particularly children. So what these thieves in Minnesota were doing, they were setting up these fictitious corporations and applying to Governor Tim Walz's Medicaid office for money to distribute to the poor. And Governor Tim Walz's welfare office would give them hundreds of millions of dollars. And of course, the thieves running these fictitious corporations.
And of course, he looks the other way, you know? He looks the other way. He's such a, all right, Kat, he's such a nasty, nasty governor, that Tim Walz. Nasty.
Sucked it up like a Hoover Deluxe. And then these fictitious corporations would go to restaurants in the community, many of them in the Somali community, and say, here's the deal. I want you to fill out a report saying you fed all these poor people. Of course, you're not feeding anybody. Just lie. And give me the report. And I'll give you a percentage of the money that I'm stealing from the American taxpayer and the people of Minnesota.
See, when you break it down, because like the thing about what Senator Kennedy's doing right now is he's really breaking down the intricacies of how this happens and how it happened. But we don't always get those details. And so I always find his facts and his knowledge to be so valuable. And I just wish everybody could listen to him, because he's always got his fingers on the facts.
It was industrial scale fraud. Next, they moved to health care. They formed, some formed fictitious corporations, companies, saying, we're going to deliver I said health care, I meant child care to poor people, homeless people. And so the fictitious company run by these thieves would go to Governor Walz's agencies and say, give us a bunch of money, we're going to house homeless people. And Governor Walz would give them the money, and the thieves sucked it up like a Hoover Deluxe. And then they went to a bunch of other of folks in the community and said, henceforth, you're in the housing business, and you need to fill out a report. It's a lie. Fill out I'm just providing housing for a bunch of
This
people.
guy. It's a lie.
And then we, the thieves who got the money from Governor Walz, will kick you back a little bit of the money. Mm-hmm. Did they stop there? No. Then they moved into, I just described housing, they moved into child care. Under Medicaid, you can use money to provide child care. So the fees formed a bunch of new fictitious companies and went to Governor Walz and his agency and said, give us a bunch of welfare money, Medicaid money to give folks who are poor child care. And then the thieves running the fictitious company went to families, many of them in the Somali community, and said, do you have a child who's autistic? If so, we want to sign them up. But if some of the families said, no, we don't have a child who's autistic, the thieves said, don't worry about it. Lie. And
Lie.
autistic or not, we'll give you back some of the money.
$1,500, I think, or $1,200 or $1,500 that they would get. Yeah, it really is. Now, here's the part where they talk about why Tim looked the other way. Tim looked the other way when it came to the Somalians because they're a huge voting bloc. And without them, he couldn't have power. So that's why he looked the other way. And he also probably got some cream off the top there.
Particularly those who are part of the state's Democratic-led administration were reluctant to take more assertive action in response to the allegations. Why? Here's her quote. There is a perception that forcefully tackling this issue might cause political backlash from the Somali community, which is a core voting bloc for Democrats.
It's all about power, folks.
And she is among the few and among many prominent figures in the Somali community who is speaking out against the fraud. In fact, at one point, a bunch of state employees, I don't remember how many, but they posted a letter publicly on social media saying Governor Walz knew about, and the Attorney General knew about this all the time. And we told them. We warned them early on. And you know what they did? They just stood there sucking on their teeth. They did nothing. And so you know what the state employees did? They went to the U.S. Attorney. They went to the U.S. Attorney. And the U.S. Attorney jumped all over this and said this is obvious fraud. And that's how all this got started.
Good.
Now, what do we do about it?
What do we do about it?
First, I don't think the only place this is happening is...
Come to California. Come to California. Please come to California. Please come to California.
So I get a little upset when some people say, well, the American people are selfish. We spend over $1 trillion a year helping our neighbors who are less fortunate than us, mostly the poor. In our country, I've said this before, if you're hungry, we'll feed you. If you're homeless, we'll house you.
Not always.
If you're too poor to be sick, we'll pay for your doctor. Other countries let their fellow citizens die in a ditch. We don't do that.
It's true.
The American people have stepped up to the plate. So when people steal this money, this $1 trillion plus a year that we spend helping our neighbors, when people steal that money, it offends me. When they steal from the poor and they steal from the American taxpayer, it offends me equally. And the folks in Minnesota and...
It makes you not want to pay taxes, right? Every time I go to pay taxes, I'm just so angry because I think about like where all this money is going. And then they just keep, in California, they just keep slapping you with bills even when you're paid up. You're just like all done and they'll just keep slapping you with more and more and more. And it's ridiculous. It's insane. It's literally insane in California, especially.
And elsewhere who stole this money, who took a giant Great Dane whiz down the leg of every taxpayer taxpayer and poor person in America.
I love this guy. Okay, so Kennedy actually found something on the internet that he thought was really funny about these daycare centers.
I read something on the internet the other day. Somebody made an observation. How do you know if you've discovered one of these fictitious child care services? Well, you go there and no one's inside. The owner pulls up in a Lamborghini. And that's what happened.
It's really what happened.
Who were stealing the money directly from government.
It's like not funny because it's awful, but it's like true. You go there and there's supposed to be 90 kids in there and there's no kids and it says leering outside. I mean, everybody knows that now, but it's just like, it's ridiculous.
And then giving it to the folks that were helping them, the fictitious restaurants, or the restaurants creating fictitious lists of people they fed, autistic children they were helping who weren't autistic. They took the money too, and all of them had a big old party. They bought cars, they bought jewelry, they took expensive vacations, they sent money back to Somalia. There is an investigation going on right now. I'm not saying it's true. That some of the money might have gone to terrorist organizations.
Oh, that?
In Somalia.
Yeah.
American taxpayer money that these people were taking out of the mouths of poor people. Now, Governor Walsh says, I knew nothing about this, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's news to me. And he said, in fact, I'm taking some bold steps. He said, at first, I'm not going to run for a third term.
Of course you're not, bro.
I guess he needs more time
to find the bad guys that are doing this.
To prepare his defense.
Yeah.
Because he's got a lot to defend here. He knew what was going on.
When are these people going to be held accountable? Like, truly held accountable? Because you know that most of them are crooks, right? I love that Senator Kennedy can push this all into everyone's face. Like, look at this, we have all this proof. But remember when we had all the proof on Biden, and Hunter and all the money they took from 4 different countries and the laptop from hell and just all of that. No one was ever held accountable. I just hope that this time some people can be held accountable and go to jail perhaps.
One of the lawyers representing one of the thieves in this case, many of the people, this was their excuse, said many of the people involved in the stealing thought that the state was okay with it.
What?
Here's his quote. No one was doing anything about the red flags. Red flags were everywhere. Nobody in state government, he said, was doing anything about the red flags.
Do you see why elections get rigged? They get rigged so that you can put people in office that look the other way while they take our money and they do the wrong things with it. So you got to understand where conservatism comes from. It comes from hardworking people that, make money and they don't want it to go to stupid stuff. I mean, that's basically the bottom line in my mind of what it is to be a conservative. People work hard for their money and it shouldn't go to funding terrorism. We're literally funding terrorism. Okay, we're going to wrap this up. With a reconciliation bill that should be drawn up. I like that he's pushing to fix things and to make things more fair and to not waste taxpayer money.
We need to do another reconciliation bill. To fix the welfare system and stop the stealing. Stop the stealing. And we can do it with all Republican votes. So please, Senator Thune, pretty please, as I've said before, I'm shameless, I'll beg. I'll get down on my knees. John, please bring another reconciliation bill. We can do so much, but we can start with fixing welfare fraud. Please, John, please let us do the bill. I don't want to end on a negative note. I might hurt my back going I love this country. I just think America's the greatest country in all of human history. I do. And the whole world knows it. Everybody wants to come here. When's the last time you heard of somebody trying to sneak into China?
That's what we started with, remember?
And I believe, as much as I'm standing here, that the future of this country can be better than the present or our past. It can be.
It can be.
I've always believed that we're only as good as our dreams, Mr. President. And we got people stealing from poor people and laughing about it, and politicians participating in it. The water's not going to clear up for America until we get the pigs out of the creek. Let's go get Senator Thune, please let us do another reconciliation bill.
Let's do this.
Lead with welfare reform. We can do it. You can do it. I know you can.
You can do it. Get Rob Schneider in there. He's a Republican. Anyway, you guys, I love Senator Kennedy so much. I'm not married, but I'm not against marriage. I'm against it personally. I think it's lovely for people who want to be married. If I were to marry somebody, he would have to be as funny as Senator Kennedy, because I just find him to be so refreshing, even in his 70s or whatever, however old he is. He is just so sharp, so witty, and so refreshing, and such a joy to watch. And he's such a fighter. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This has been Go See Gail. I'm doing politics now. If you like it, hang in there. And if you're new to the channel, please stick around, and I'll have more content ready to go very soon. Thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.